Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Friday, September 27th, 2019. Let's open right up with your radar loop this morning. We're only going to spend just a brief moment on the weather that's going on today because we definitely want to get to the major storm system on tap for the weekend. You can see here on the radar loop, though, we do have a band or zone of shower activity that is slowly pushing south and east across the Snake Plain. Also up into the Caribou Highlands and the Teton Valley area as of about 5:30 a.m. this morning. There is a shortwave trough that's dropping across the region, generating the shower activity. We're expecting this to continue as we head over the next few hours to track off to the south and east. By the time we get to 8 or 9 a.m. this morning, this should predominantly be done with maybe just a lingering light shower down toward the Bear Lake area. Really light precipitation amounts out of this, generally just a few hundredths of an inch for most locations. The rest of today, fairly dry and low impact. And even though we'll see slightly cooler high temperatures compared to yesterday, as you can see here, still quite pleasant. It'll have a little taste of fall in the air, but still one more day of fairly decent weather conditions across the region before we get into our big storm system. Might be a hit or miss shower, particularly in the mountains today, but generally most locations are going to be dry once we clear out that precipitation this morning. So, big system on tap for the weekend. What we're looking at is a low pressure center that's going to drop south and east here across portions of Washington and Oregon, particularly tonight into tomorrow morning, and it's really going to set up shop here just to the west of our forecast area, particularly over eastern Oregon. And it's going to sit there throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday and even into Monday. And as it does, we're going to have waves of precipitation, moisture, a few cold fronts that are going to rotate around that low and cross our forecast area here in southeast Idaho. Now, I will mention the strongest front that we're expecting with this whole scenario is going to come through on Sunday, and that's important. Okay, we're going to have some mixed precipitation concerns, but for a lot of areas outside the Central Mountains, we're not going to see temperatures cold enough to really support a lot of snow until we get that main front with the colder air coming in on Sunday. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as we start stepping through the forecast scenario. That is kind of an important detail as it will affect the impacts that we're going to see here. So just like we did yesterday, we're going to switch gears here and take a look at one of our computer models. And again, this is one of many models we look at, not an official forecast. What I want you to do is look at the overall picture, the overall evolution of this system, the overall flavor that the model is giving us. And that'll kind of be a good way to walk through what we're expecting. Models are coming into really good agreement on this system. They're actually showing some pretty good agreement on which periods precipitation is going to be heaviest over the next couple days and what areas are going to be affected by that. I'll also mention before we get started here that we've been advertising this as a 4-day long duration storm, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're really focusing in on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, I think that's going to be 80% of the precipitation. The most impacts are going to fall during that period, with really just some wrap up lighter hit and miss shower activity as we head into Monday and Tuesday. So as we kick off at 6 a.m. this morning, the model is picking up on that zone of shower activity currently working through the area. And as we head toward 9 a.m., just about done, and definitely by noon, pretty dry and quiet for the rest of the day across the region, maybe a light shower down toward Bear Lake. This afternoon, again, pretty dry and quiet, pleasing temperatures right into this evening. And by the time we get to about midnight tonight, so we're about to go into Saturday morning, you can see that precipitation just starting to creep into far southern portions of the forecast area. Okay, so here we go. As we step from midnight to 3 a.m., you can see that precipitation really filling in south of the I-84, I-86 corridors here. And by 6 a.m., a large zone or band of widespread precipitation, predominantly rain, breaking out here to the south of Burley and Pocatello, the Cache Valley, the Bear Lake area, the Caribou Highlands, the Teton Valley. This general corridor, as you see it laid out here on this image, is really going to be hit the hardest for Saturday, okay? You'll see in the model a few showers elsewhere, and I think everybody will have a chance at seeing a shower or two over the course of the day on Saturday, but it's going to be this zone that'll see the heaviest precipitation amounts and most persistent precipitation. As we step from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., expanding into Fremont County but continuing in the east, some of this may affect the interstate cities here. You can see that those are being included in this zone. Noon on Saturday, similar idea, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., still the east getting hit the hardest, but a chance of some showers everywhere. Maybe some snow starting to mix in the central mountains. This is where our coldest air is going to be early on, but temperatures supporting rain for everyone else on Saturday. And some of those totals will be pretty heavy here in the east, and we'll have to watch out for isolated flooding, and we'll talk about that momentarily. Now, as we go from 6 p.m., to 9 p.m. Saturday to midnight, notice a transition here. We still have heavier precipitation east of I-15 and in the southern highlands, but the model is developing another zone of enhanced, more widespread precipitation further west. Now, this particular model is really targeting Cassia County, Twin Falls, and Burley, eastern Magic Valley up into the central mountains. We have several other computer models that are really focusing this just a bit further east, really the heart of the Snake Plain, the eastern central mountains, south of Pocatello. So a little bit of a discrepancy there, but the general idea is for this second zone to start getting enhanced precipitation as we head into overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. 3 a.m., widespread precipitation, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., continuing across the region. You can see this kind of second zone here really getting hit pretty well with some heavier precipitation. Remember that front, okay? Sunday is when that more pronounced, stronger cold front is going to arrive. So while we have snow concerns for both days in the central mountains, it's really going to be Sunday that cold air filters in and starts to spread some mixed precipitation concerns, some snow concerns to the rest of the region, okay? And as that seems to time out with this heavier precipitation, this is going to be something to watch for impacts as we head into early Sunday morning, with some of that snow starting to mix down lower and lower, particularly west of Pocatello and Idaho Falls. 9 a.m. to noon, still widespread showers, and as we head into Sunday afternoon, things start to settle down a little bit. The areas of precipitation will lift off to the north, lift off to the northeast. Still a chance of showers for everybody, but definitely things lightening up as we head through Sunday afternoon, and you can see by Sunday evening, Sunday overnight, just a few hit-and-miss showers across the region. So that's the general picture of what we're expecting. So when all is said and done, no major changes here to our forecast as far as storm total rainfall. You can see to the east of the interstate corridors, from the south central highlands down into Bear Lake, all of our eastern highlands here, generally still looking for 1 inch to as high as 2 inches of total precipitation. Again, a lot of this is really going to fall during that overnight tonight into Saturday morning and a good chunk of the day on Saturday, when temperatures are going to support rain. So we're going to burn through a lot of this precipitation in all liquid. Okay, that's going to keep our snow accumulations down, but we're also going to have to keep an eye out for maybe some very localized isolated flooding, particularly over and near burn scars. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Further to the west across the region, generally 1/4 to 1/2 inch, with maybe a few higher amounts near 3/4 of an inch here or there. And that includes the Snake Plain, the Central Mountains, maybe a little bit higher down here into Cassia County. Snowfall, again, this is 2-day totals, 48-hour period, Saturday and Sunday, the bulk of the storm. Interesting to note, the heaviest snowfall amounts we're expecting are really going to be up north and in the Central Mountains, which does not line up with where the heaviest overall precipitation amounts are. Again, that's simply due to temperature. We're going to have colder temperatures earlier and for longer up across this region versus further east. So at this time, storm total snow 3 to 9 inches expected, particularly of above about 7,000 feet. Here up across the Central Mountains and Montana border. Could see 3 inches or more of snow, potentially impacting places like Banner Summit, Galena Summit, Willow Creek Summit, up toward Monida Pass, Reynolds and Tarhee passes, and then a dusting to about 3 inches of snow right down to valley floors, and that'll include here in the Central Mountains places like Ketchum, Sun Valley, Stanley, Chalice, and then over toward Mackey and up to Island Park. Again, a dusting to 3 inches there with this storm. And again, the heaviest precipitation up across this region is going to be late Saturday night into Sunday. Heavier precipitation earlier on Saturday here as we head over to the east. So for the rest of the region, Snake Plain, Southern Highlands, Eastern Highlands, this time expecting about 1 to 4 inches of storm total snow. Greatest amounts above about 5,500 feet. That'll include Pine Creek Pass, Fish Creek Summit, Georgetown Summit, Emigration, Geneva and Border Summits. Lower elevations, very marginal temperatures will likely keep any accumulation limited to a dusting to 1 inch. and that's going to include major cities such as Burley, Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, much of the Snake Plain. So again, this is nothing like what they're going to see in northern Idaho. This is not what they're going to see up in Montana. More moderated impacts for our area, and I think really light on those snowfall accumulations down low outside of the Central Mountains just because of our temperature profile. Temperatures. We've kind of touched on this a little bit. Morning lows on Saturday. You can see cold enough for snow in the Central Mountains, but still running a little warm elsewhere. It's really going to be until the colder air arrives Sunday that we'll switch over to snow. High temperatures on Saturday getting up into the upper 40s to low 50s. By Sunday, morning low temperatures backing off pretty close to freezing. Below freezing in the Central Mountains, again supportive of snow. Here we'll start to transition with a little bit of snow mixing in at higher elevations elsewhere, potentially nudging down toward the valley floors as we head into Sunday morning. Isolated frost is possible here, so it may have some impacts on the growing season as well. High temperatures on Sunday struggle to make it up into the 40s. Okay, colder air filtering into the region behind the front. Still precipitation going on, mixed rain and snow concerns. Monday morning, low temperatures solidly below freezing across the region, generally in the teens and 20s. We'll be close to freezing right here in the big cities along the interstate. We're really expecting this to be a widespread hard freeze. It's effectively ending the growing season across the region. Okay, so unless our forecast changes too much, really by Monday morning, that's going to be it as far as agriculture and growing across the region. And we may need to issue freeze watches over the next day or two for this scenario. High temperatures on Monday still remaining in the 40s across the region with a few rain and snow showers continuing. Tuesday, that low starts to lift out. Not expecting major impacts, maybe a residual rain or snow shower, particularly in our mountain zones, and temperatures starting to creep up a few degrees. Looking for ridging and drier conditions as we head into Wednesday and Thursday next week. That's it for your hazard briefing this morning. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out and continue to stay tuned as we iron out the details for this system. Have a great day.